everyone. My name is Jenny Burak, and I'm an astrologer and an energy healer. I work with the vibration known as Archangel Metatron, who I met as the Holy Spirit when I was younger. I just wanted to just go over a little bit about myself because so many of you are new that I started repeating stories of my travels as a baby to my parents, who were quite entertained. My mom said I was just over a year old. I can remember very clearly being in the high chair and realizing that they were making fun of me, that they were teasing me, while I would like regale them of stories of where I'd been and what I'd done. And so, really, my first name for him was We, because I used to tell my parents, we went here, we did this, we did that. And they were very young. They were like 21, 22 years old. And she said that they kind of were looking at each other like, did she go somewhere? Because I was so convinced that it had happened. But I have memories of seeing him with me, and on the astral plane, walking along with me. So, yeah, I've been in contact with him for a very long time. I was raised in a fundamentalist evangelical church where my father was a pastor, a very large church. There were a lot of pastors. And yeah, I left all of that behind. And with that, I always, I had my gifts that I used there. And so when I stopped being part of the church, I just kind of stopped everything. For myself, I would still communicate with him. Yes, we were never out of communication. We're always in communication. And so, yeah, when I discovered energy healing, I discovered astrology actually first. And then when I discovered energy healing, I recognized that all of the stories that I had done the healings for, going into the Akashic Record or other timelines, however you see that, to do the healings for, that those are all expressed in my chart. And then I realized, like, oh, that's in everybody's chart. And so when I do readings and healings, I do it from that vantage point. It's kind of like your record, your natal chart. It's your record, your soul record. It's your past, present, future, all rolled into one little, he's saying, unique chart map to look at. So, of course, astrology, when the chart says things, it doesn't mean necessarily that those things are going to play out exactly as they're written. We change, we grow, we landed with that chart. And so, yeah, we do the healing from that vantage point. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say about myself. How's everybody doing? I was wondering, curious to know how many of you have had relationship issues and value, is what he's saying. Like, if you've had any experiences in this past week or so where you've recognized that somebody isn't respectful or really doesn't care about you, uncovering, he's talking about like uncovering layers, unwrapping layers, and to find out what someone's motivation for being with you is. Those sort of things are coming to light right now while we're in this energy. We now have Venus on February 1st went into Aquarius. Of course, we had the Saturn Jupiter conjunction there. They're still there. The sun is there, and Mercury is spending a longer amount of time there because of his retrograde. And we also have Cheroklo. Cheroklo is the wife. Oh, I can't believe I said that off the bat. But let's skip that. Cheroklo means the graceful spinner. And so in your chart, it shows how it is that you create your life, what your motivation is, what it is that you would be interested in doing, what brings you a sense of fulfillment and accomplishment. She is married to, in the mythology, she's the wife of Chiron. because as we heal that wound, we begin to take our power back and recognize that we are powerful beings, unable to create the life that we choose. Also, Pallas Athena, who is the goddess of wisdom, the warrior goddess. She is very strategic. She knows how to plot. So, plotting like your story, what steps you would like to take in moving forward. And I think we're going to just keep this video about the month of February and the new moon that we have coming next week. So I am making this on the cross quarter day. Happy cross quarter day. I know that there it has many names depending on what culture and what time we were in, but this is the day, and these are always astrological, that the sun comes to the midpoint between the solstice and the equinox. So when it reaches 15 degrees, the middle of Aquarius, then it's between. And so happy cross quarter. It falls on different days. In 2021, it's the 3rd of February. So happy cross quarter to everybody. We've got like 44 days left then of winter for us in the Northern Hemisphere. And yeah, we had a big snowstorm this past weekend, and now we're going to visit the 20, 30 below range coming up like later in the like beginning of next week, I suppose. So I'll be glad when the next 44 days goes by. I don't mind the cold. I don't mind the snow. I don't care for the gray. We have a lot of gray here in the winter. So anyway, I hope that all of you are doing well and enjoying the refreshing air that we're in now with the Aquarian energy, so much of it. So, with the Aquarian energy, you want to look back to like your teen years and the college years. Like that feeling that, oh, I could do what I like now. I can explore different avenues. I can take charge and handle my affairs. And just Metatron was taking me back to that point in time. For me, I was a missionary in South Central Africa. So I was in Zimbabwe. And I remembered that feeling of anything being possible. Whenever, we get into our roles, we get into a place where we're comfortable, we know what's coming next, what to expect. It can be dull, and the Aquarian energy wants to shake things up, and for us to recognize that we have unlimited possibilities to create the life that we want. The details, like, for me, it would be, I should also mention that I have a daughter with special needs and I take care of her as well. But yeah, for me, it would be what would happen with her if I choose to go down this or that path. And that's something that we just leave with the guys in charge, or the higher vibrations, her soul, and I allow that to just be worked out that way, and for what is beneficial for both of us. And so that Aquarian energy, the excitement of youth, breaking free of dogma, breaking free, like religious dogma, breaking free from the 8 of Swords energy, that is what he is pointing to, where we believe that we're restricted, we're confined, we owe a debt to this person, so we need to stay. That's all illusion, and it typically comes from a story in the subconscious that you played out a long time ago, that's lingering there because there needs to be healing for it. And so, yeah, that's what we're looking at with Aquarius, is reaching new heights, new frontier, trailblazers, coming to awakening. Aquarius is the sign that we associate with awakening, coming into that higher vibration of consciousness that links us to our cosmic creativity, as the way Rick Levine puts it, when we talk about Uranus or that Aquarian energy. And so all of us all over the world now are experiencing that. We still have Pluto finishing up in Capricorn. So we still have governments, shifting and changing, and corporate that affects corporations as well. I think, I've talked about this I think before, that from the time that Pluto entered Capricorn in 2008 until now, the biggest change, the most significant change that I can see is lack of customer service. It's sort of like, we've got you now. We have so many monopolies. And so we'll see, what happens with that as Pluto finishes up before 2023 when he moves into Aquarius. And then, boy, things are going to go down. I'm looking forward to Pluto in Aquarius. So that'll be big transformations happening. But as Saturn is making his way through Aquarius, he is laying the groundwork, the path for the steps that then Pluto will take through there. Remember, Saturn is the traditional ruler of Aquarius, so he has something to say about things there as well. It's not just Uranus territory. So, we have a lot of that coming up, and I want to just mention, let's do the times for the new moon. So the new moon takes place at 23 degrees and change of Aquarius. So anything that you have, say, 18 to 26, 27 is going to be feeling that really strongly. And you can always go on astro.com to make a chart for yourself with your birth information. You can just enter it there and kind of follow the steps. There are a lot of places where you can do a free natal chart online. So this is happening on the 11th of February at 7:05 p.m. in the United Kingdom. That is 1:05 p.m. Central Standard Time for us here. And in Sydney, it's the 12th of February at 6:05 a.m. And so a 5, just like the year that we're in, where there need to be adjustments. And, we have the 3 squares of Uranus and Saturn coming this year. The first one is coming on the 17th of February. So that will be the first square. I just realized I have a baby. One of my kids is the 18th, so I'm going to have to watch out for that one. But yeah, that'll be the first square. Remember that when we're coming up to the square, that's when you feel it. It's usually when it squares, or depending on your sensitivity, it could even dissipate before it actually squares. You could stop feeling it so strongly, but we'll be contending with that energy. These are big guys and they move slowly. So we'll begin feeling that much earlier than that date, than the date of the 17th. In the chart that we're looking at for the new moon, Venus, who rules food, balance between yourself and the other, she rules things that you value, love, of course. She is going to be in a sextile, so in a 60-degree aspect with Black Moon Lilith. And Black Moon Lilith is in Taurus, in the physical body, and Venus rules food. There are so many aspects, this is why I'm reading them, that point to something about the change in our personal, like a self-care, diet, exercise. Ceres, that's where we get the name cereal. Ceres, she rules the grains of the field, and she's linked with how we're raised and also food. And she is in a sextile. Again, a sextile is always a choice with Sedna. And Sedna is also in Taurus. And so again, something to do with, maybe eating habits that we picked up when we were younger. And because Venus is an Aquarius, I'm going to mention that a lot of people that I know personally who have Venus there have a strange, well, I would say strange, but I don't know. It's just a different relationship with food. Aquarius is always about being different. But the relationship with food can be like on again, off again, or like binging, purging kind of. or they don't want any food, like there's an aversion to food. So that's something just to be mindful of as she is going through Aquarius now, or for any of you who have that placement. Mercury, who also rules like our daily habits, he rules Virgo, and Virgo is about what you do, your daily rituals, your daily practice. He is sextile Mars, who is in Taurus. And so that tells me, because Venus is also the ruler of Gemini, that it's time to put something in motion. Mars is in Taurus. Taurus is the physical body. So some kind of movement. Everybody can move something. And a lot of times our bodies rebel and act up because there's a lack of movement. And so just continuing that will make it just snowballs, is the way he's putting it, where it becomes more and more of an issue. Then okay, so let's stop there and then talk about the physical body. I've mentioned this before, that with our vibration, our energetic vibration, it can be altered significantly because of our diet, because of lack of motion. And the body starts to feel sad and neglected, and then it will become an energetic issue as well. And especially with the gut brain connection, we know that certain foods, especially sugar, can lead to depression. And so just as these energies are playing out, be in tune with your body. And what is your body? He's been talking about this a lot in sessions with people lately too. How does your body respond to that food? What do you notice with that food? There can be a lot of food sensitivities coming up for some people, depending on what's going on in your chart. But I wouldn't be surprised if some people were to discover that they do, need to like tamper that, or not maybe eat it at that time of day, what have you, that people will be needing to make adjustments with diet. Certainly in the astrology, it looks like that. Sphinx is, which, normally I don't talk about that in video, but Sphinx relates to astral travel, things that go on in other timelines, in other dimensions. It can actually give us clues to what exactly is going on for us in other dimensions. But Sphinx is in a trine, so a harmonious flow of energy with Pluto, and then with Sedna and Algol. And so that can be bringing up issues where we find comfort from food, tampering loneliness, that kind of thing. And it can also bring up stories or history, is what Metatron is saying. History. So something that the ancestors may have struggled with, and, something that, the way that he's putting it is the soul, like, hey, we do associate food with comfort. That's just, I don't know if that is a first world thing, but definitely, even when my kids were younger, when they get hurt, like, oh, would you want this? And give them a cookie, right? We've all been there. So, yeah, that, getting rid of that association. And then the sun and moon are in a sextile. So again, a choice with Eris. She is the goddess of discord, but she's also the aspect of the feminine that we all have, that gets it done and doesn't really care. Will take it on, and get it done. And even if it costs something like time, let's say, or effort, but makes that effort. And Eris also is a lot to do with freedom, breaking free of the old constructs, even being, masculine and feminine. The moon in Aquarius too. I have a lot of friends with Aquarian moons. A lot of times there can be some connection, not all the time, but a lot of the time there's a connection with the mother, maybe who was unstable, who, and we choose our parents, right? So we chose to have a story with the mother who was like that. But, for whatever reason, there wasn't a sense of harmonious belonging instilled. And so we can have trouble dropping anchor, is a good way to say it. Trouble releasing that cord, even really coming fully into the body so that we're present in the body. And I'll tell you, if we aren't, it leads to weight gain. If somebody is always up in their head or in the ether, so to speak, then it disrupts the connection and the harmonious flow between our vibration and our body. And so, it really, with all of this Aquarian energy, we want to be really careful to ground. Uh, and then getting back to when you were, well, maybe weren't that age, but when you were in control and you had the say in what goes on in your life. And when did it become about others and all of the responsibilities that you have to everyone outside of yourself? So he was talking about retracing our steps, going back to when our life was our own and the world was our oyster, and we were ready to just go out there and to create our adult life. Retracing the steps of what happened that changed that perspective is what he's saying. And then he's pointing out that, if it was children or someone who needed to be cared for, he is talking about, again, allowing ourselves to become a priority so that we can feel excited about life and it isn't just the chores, because Mars in Taurus can become really annoyed with the mundane. It can just seem tedious and can kind of drag us down. So really reigniting that fire, that passion for life, realizing that, you came in equipped with whatever it is that you would choose to do. And if you are in that place where you aren't quite sure where you would like to turn your focus and your attention, just allowing yourself to be led to that, and this is Aquarian too. The creator and the universe, source, however you want to say that, is always speaking to you, always, in numbers, in colors, in an animal that you might see. I mean, most of us know that, right? But once you recognize that the universe, he's saying, wants relationship with you, is communing with you, once you acknowledge that, then it really doesn't shut off. I mean, I had a funny story. When the little puzzles go through the news feed that say like the first three words are your 2021. I sync up when I do those. And one of the words that I got was butter. and I don't eat butter. I was like, what? What does that mean? I knew it must have mean something. And then later that night, like 5-6 hours later, there was a home improvement show on and I wasn't watching it, but I heard one man say to the other man, it's like, just call me butter because I'm on a roll. So, that's what I mean. Like once you recognize that he's saying that voice is never silent, can't be silent, that there's always hints and clues being dropped for you. And a lot of times it's like we aren't perceiving it because we don't believe that we're important enough, but it is always happening for us. And so really just recognizing that, that's part of awakening, is recognizing that it's all within you, and that you're separate from the illusion. The illusion is taking place and we do participate in it. We live here, but outside of the illusion, we always have that harmonious connection with the creator. And what he means is that it's an illusion that there is any separation. It's like when I talked about being in the hospital room and I was just there energetically, but I could see then from that vantage point what was actually happening that we can't see in the physical, but it's always there. It's like our loved ones who pass are always with us. We're always connected. and not getting like so caught up in the illusion or focused on, what's playing out with politics or what have you, that we forget that we are connected, and getting back to that place where we feel he's saying that easy breezy connection to the self and to the creator. If people are always reflecting to you that you're not important, then most likely there's a belief in the subconscious that you're not important, and then you have engaged these soulmates to reflect that back to you as a lesson for you, not because they're terrible people. That's the illusion. The truth is that we ask for the experiences that we have, and coming to why would I want that experience, and then forgiving the entire story. And then, sorry, I'm trying to read my writing and it's not working out very well. And then taking the first steps toward bringing our ideas into form, our hopes, our dreams into form, doing the little manifesting ceremony with the new moon. But then when it comes to the week later, we come to that first quarter square, then, making a step. Even if it's sending an email. I've said this many times before. I'm going to have to put my glasses on, and then I'm just going to have to hope that I can read my writing better, because he and we went over things, and I was taking notes really quickly. So, truth and perception, communicating with source, which we just went over. And then also working smarter and not harder, being in the flow. Pallas Athena, the goddess of wisdom, who helps us with strategy, and Mars is about strategy too. She isn't paying much attention to what everyone else has to say. When you ask for input and then the creator leads you to someone who could give you good advice, that's different. But I wouldn't be sharing so much about what you propose to do or what you think it's going to end up being. I would just kind of do the high priestess, keeping it to yourself for now. That's just a good idea in this energy. And a lot of times we can have in the subconscious that other people would want our money if we had it, or that they would be jealous of it. And so, or jealous of our success, whatever that is. And so we can quash it without even, before it even starts, because we want everyone to like us. So there's all little, and your subconscious is always talking to you too. You can tell, like when you're doing a manifesting ritual and a thought like that creeps in, then you just say, no, I forgive that story. I release that story. I recognize that's part of the illusion. And then the foundation of creation that we are creating in every moment. And this new moon is so beautiful. It's Venus is at the same degree as Jupiter. Those are the two most beneficial planets. That's about love and harmony and partners that help. You can have like opportunities for partners, but you can also find partners that help you to bring in opportunities, or that you can work with together. And they do that once a year. Some people say it's a romantic day, but it is like a lucky day. If you want to say that there is a day that it's lucky, that would be when Venus and Jupiter come together. And, or I'm sorry, it doesn't happen every year, about every year and a half is when that happens. So, I mean, it's great that that's happening on a new moon. And then learning to be led with the heart. What brings you fulfillment? That's for you to discover. That's what self-discovery is about. And so he asked me to read. So Uranus would be the ruler then of the new moon, because he rules Aquarius, and he is at 8 degrees. He's actually at 7 and change of Taurus. So we look then at the 8th degree. And the 8th degree is a man lost in a tiny forest. You live in your own world, which is lush and fertile. You tend to be conflicted concerning whether or not you want to connect with the outer world or stay inside. Your goal is to share yourself with others, but with as little compromise as possible, so that the integrity and wonders of your richness is preserved. So, this is like finding that balance between, the hermit. And the hermit really isn't so much about physical withdrawal as it is being in that place of peace and harmony, as if you're in meditation in every moment. Like that's the place that you are reacting from. But also, shoring up boundaries and making sure that he's bringing up that we can be in a heightened sensitivity right now. And it's important for us to be able to discern what is our vibration and what is someone else's. And really the only way to do that is to be completely in the body. I mean, I'm super psychic and I can do that, in my physical body too. The creator's energy lives inside of each cell of our body, every quark, every molecule. So that there is, the creator is there too. But a lot of times when we're making the connection, we can kind of come out of ourselves. I think just heaven, the whole teaching of heaven being up there somewhere, has done that for humanity. The Chandra symbol for this degree is a very complicated hedge maze. To lose yourself in a maze or forest means that the search will have to occur. And just imagine what other things are waiting to be found as you seek yourself. You might become frustrated if you focus on your confusion and uncertainty of direction, but if you can relax and focus on all the twistings and turnings of your journey, it's all about the climb, and trust in the fact that there is something to learn from every single thing that happens, you will find untold riches that await your discovery. This degree is about the agendas of the soul eclipsing the agendas of the ego. When you don't know where you're going or what you're doing, it may be because part of yourself that's beyond your conscious has taken over. And so finding ourselves. And this also has to do with circuitry. So that's cool too, because Uranus is electric. So yeah, that's cool. And ritual and ceremony. If you don't have a new moon ritual, I encourage you to look into doing that for yourself. Maybe at some point I'll start doing that when I have more time, that I would be interested in doing something like that. But yeah, there's a lot of, you can like just with a piece of paper, I light a candle. If you want the whole candle to burn out, you could light a birthday candle. I've done that in where I've done in-person meetings for rituals. We used birthday candles so that everybody would go all the way out before the meeting was over. So that's one thing that you could do. And then on the front of the paper, you write down what it is that you'd like to manifest. On the back, what it is that you'd like to release. Burn the paper with the candle, and then once it's ash, throw it onto the ground and just ask the universe to bring that to fruition for you. And then I wanted to, okay, I think we're going to come back to it because I was debating, like, should I make this about love and partnership, or should I do, Metatron had already told me the name of the video, so I kind of knew. But yeah, it's just this chart for the new moon. You can see, all right, that, okay, so where is it now? So down at the bottom, there in Sagittarius, you can see the South Node, and that's Juno, the one who looks like a dandelion. She's about partners, and the asteroid Union. They're all there, and they're almost sextile, not quite. they sextile the midpoint of Mercury and then the Venus Jupiter conjunction. So there's definitely some stuff going on with. I know that some people don't like this, but twin flame union, reunion kind of stuff happening. And that's a 2 year process. The new When we hit a new moon, then it's like 2 years, but when that comes to fruition. And so we're at some gate. We're at some starting gate for sure. But of course, you know what? I probably should just wait and do that on another video because I'm already at 35 minutes and there's a lot to talk about with that. So, I'll make that video next week. Hopefully on Tuesday, I'll be able to do that. I had planned yesterday to make a video, but my daughter has transfusions and it just wasn't possible. But he was just wanted me to remind everyone that everything that you need is already within you, that this is the time to recognize how valuable and precious you are, and that you are supported, that you are supported, that you are recognized. He's saying that your contribution is important, that you do have something significant to say and to share, and that you could find somebody that helps you in collaboration, bringing your dream to fruition. And then really recognizing too, just the instant manifestation energy that we're in right now. It's powerful, man. So yeah. Oh, I also wanted to mention, I don't want to end on this, but he just reminded me because I forgot. But wow, the kids are really having a hard time. Older kids. I think more than the younger kids, at least from what I'm hearing. And I mean, I don't mean younger. I mean, like, let's say 12 and up, about 12 and up. Your whole world is your social circle, then. It's really not anything to do with your family. I mean, most of the time. And we had two kids in a suburb really close to me, very well to do suburb, where my son has been working as a teacher. One was the quarterback of the football team. And then another boy at the sister high school also took his own life. And I've seen a lot of stories in my newsfeed too. And so I know that it's not just in our area. They don't realize that life changes and they're so stuck right now and they don't really see how it's going to get any better. So just send love, ask the creator to send love to them and hope, to send hope to them. If you're in a place where you're feeling down too, I like to ask before I go to sleep if that's going on with me, to meet with hope. And you will feel so much better when you wake up in the morning too. To me, Gabriel is male and hope is the feminine aspect of that. But I think that the being that I see as hope, probably a lot of people refer to as Gabriel. So, yeah, and just really, if you have kids that age, let them know that it sucks for I keep telling my daughter with special needs, like, it sucks for everybody right now, Bailey. It's not just you, and that everybody is having a hard time. Just so that they don't feel like they're so alone in it. But yeah, he asked me to mention that. And this is about the next chapter. What is next? Aquarius. Out with the old, in with the brand spanking new. So, yeah, new body rituals, something you enjoy, something that you like. Your body will feel so much happier. And I know a lot of you are really good with that too. But yeah, so anyway, everyone, I hope that you found this helpful and I enjoy spending time with you. I will be back then. We'll do the love reading the week of. We'll just do it for the week of Valentine's Day. It's interesting too because Mercury went retrograde at the degree that the sun is on Valentine's Day too. So that's where he backed up and now he's going to go back. So yeah, love is in the air. Believe it or not. Yeah. So anyway, everybody, take care. Sending you so much love. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys again next week. Bye bye.